Turkey is preparing for war against Israel, while Qatar takes down the American right wing. Written by David Mark. With Israel's Gaza City operation in full swing as ground troops enter the last major stronghold and jihadist capital, something else is brewing in the Middle East. It is no secret that after Israel attacked Hamas's political leadership residing in Qatar's capital of Doha on September 9th, the Qataris have been trying to rally the Arab world to their side. Qatar's emir called for an emergency summit that was held on September 15th, 2025. The Arab Islamic Emergency Summit in Doha was convened to tackle the Israeli attack on Qatar, viewed as a breach of a GCC nation's sovereignty. Key discussions were expected to focus on diminishing U.S. influence in the region after its failure to provide effective security assurances. The agenda reportedly included exploring new defense alliances with China and Turkey, evaluating the partial withdrawal of U.S. forces in favor of alternative security partners, and considering the termination of multi-billion-dollar U.S. arms agreements due to concerns over reliability and security. So far, Qatar has not publicly left the U.S. orbit, but cozying up to China and admitting what everyone already knows, that it is in partnership with its fellow Muslim Brotherhood country of Turkey for control over the region, can be seen as key outcomes of the summit. For years now, the Qatari-Turkish partnership has formed the nucleus of the emerging Sunni caliphate in the Middle East. The Al Thani family of Qatar and Erdogan of Turkey had already long ago divvied up roles in the rising Muslim Brotherhood empire. Qatar essentially props up Turkey's economy, while Erdogan provides the industrial output and army for Qatar's jihad in the region. However, Qatar's ambitions extend far beyond the Middle East. The Al Thanis want Islam to be global. So to do that, Qatar's money is spent on not only influencing the American and European left, but when it comes to the U.S., splitting the conservative movement between pro-Israel and anti-Israel factions. This can be seen openly on X on accounts like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. Whether Qatari money is directly behind them or not, the fact is Qatari bots are promoting anti-Israel voices in the right wing, the same way the Qataris infiltrated the left using the American universities. Qatar's strategy has always been to fund the Marxist-Islamist partnership, known as the Red-Green Alliance, to undercut American unity and support for Israel. Ultimately, it was a left-wing trans activist, essentially a product of the Red-Green Alliance, who killed Charlie Kirk, and just when his assassination should have woken the country up to Qatar's manipulation of Generation Z. The right continues its splinter with the woke right, or better called the Qatari right, diverting attention to Israel as the culprit. Interestingly, Qatar's manipulation of the American media, university, and conservative movement is exactly what those on the far right accuse Israel of doing. The result of all of this is a weakening of U.S. support for Israel, as well as creating confusion and chaos on American streets. Turkey has made it clear that it wants to reassert itself over the land of Israel, and, as the main partner in the Qatari-backed Muslim Brotherhood Caliphate, Erdogan's Turkish armed forces, TF, have been tasked with conquering the Jewish state. A Turkish media outlet aligned with President Erdogan has disclosed a target bank of strategic sites in Israel that Turkey's military would focus on in the event of a conflict with Israel. As tensions escalate between Turkey and Israel, the outlet revealed a list of key military and strategic locations, including Air Force bases in Nevatim, Hatzerim, Ramat David, and the Tel Aviv suburbs, the ports of Haifa, Ashdod, and Eilat, the Tamar and Leviathan gas rigs, and the Dimona nuclear facility. Israel has not been quiet as well, and in preparation for a potential conflict with Turkey, it has begun to shift anti-aircraft installations over to Cyprus, while increasing cooperation with both Greek and Cypriot armed forces. Alongside this, Israel has been bolstering its cooperation with Druze separatists in Sweden. According to reports, the Israeli government has been providing weapons and money to the pro-Israel military council in Sweden. So, is any of this enough to counter the Qatari-Turkish Muslim Brotherhood Caliphate? On the face of it, not at all, especially if the U.S. fully descends into internal chaos and the coming generation is awash in anti-Israel propaganda. Israel must continue to strengthen its partnerships with Eastern European ethno-nationalist states like Poland, Lithuania, the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Austria. Alongside this, Israel should completely back Kurdish autonomy, if not full independence, in Syria. Only a coalition of indigenous cultures in the Middle East and those Christian nations in Europe that have not yet succumbed to the Red-Green Alliance propaganda can counter the growing Muslim Brotherhood caliphate. If not, Islam may be able to accomplish something it has never done in its 1,400-year-old history, taking over the West permanently. So, is any of this enough to counter the Qatari-Turkish Muslim Brotherhood caliphate? On the face of it, not at all, especially if the U.S. fully descends into internal chaos and the coming generation is awash in anti-Israel propaganda. Israel must continue to strengthen its partnerships with Eastern European ethno-nationalist states like Poland, Lithuania, the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Austria. Alongside this, Israel should completely back Kurdish autonomy, if not full independence, in Syria. Only a coalition of indigenous cultures in the Middle East and those Christian nations in Europe that have not yet succumbed to the Red-Green Alliance propaganda can counter the growing Muslim Brotherhood caliphate. If not, Islam may be able to accomplish something it has never done in its 1,400-year-old history, taking over the West permanently.